your rise to success at such a young age. Like, did you ever think to yourself, like, damn, this is too much? Like,
when I went to Mexico, yeah, they damn near killed me. Like, it was a straight mob scene. Like, I thought I was gonna die, actually.
Oh.
Like, early on, like, it was like I had girls in the trees, like, girls climbing roofs across the street, like, shaking my van. My van was like,
yo,
so, like,
some
there was
people
times
would die
like
for that.
I was about to say,
There was
at first it
moments
sounded
early on
bad.
where I
That didn't sound too bad.
Yeah, hold up.
Today on the Miami Hustle, we have Austin Mahone and Chris Daniel pulling up.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Hey, thank you guys so much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's an honor to have both you guys on the podcast.
Appreciate you, bro.
Welcome to Miami.
Thank you.
You already know Chris.
Get it. 305.
305 Hustle, yes sir. So for the people that don't know, Austin, where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and Miami, Florida.
Shout out to San Antonio, shout out to Miami. Chris, where are you from?
Liberty and Dub Street, all over Miami, Little Havana, West Miami, South Miami, Kendall.
Hey, shout out to
all
Little
over
Havana,
Miami.
shout out to all of Miami, really.
For sure.
Again, true honor to have both you guys on the podcast. Thank you for pulling up.
Thank
you. For the ones that also don't know, they are big time music artists. Austin Mahone has been doing it for about like over 10 years at this point.
For sure.
And Chris, how long you been doing music?
Man, I'll say professionally about 7.
Amazing.
6 or 7 years.
So we got veterans in the game. A lot of knowledge is about to be dropped in this episode. And they also just released a new single. It's called It's Summer. It's perfect time for the summertime. Hey. Personally, I love the song. It's a vibe. And it blends really well with just the summertime vibes, bro. And what I love about the song too is that the hook is great, but the lyrics are amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very inspirational but uplifting and party vibe too.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, bro.
We really felt like, you know, this is one of those records that is always gonna come back. You know, I really aim in my music, and I know he does the same, to make timeless music. You know, that's not really being made nowadays because everybody wants to make something that's gonna stay and be relevant for today. But that's all it's gonna be for today. So I feel like there's a song that could come back every summer. In Miami, summer never ends. So this is really the perfect song to drop at any point. To be honest.
That's what's up. And how are you guys able to collab on this song? Like, how did you guys meet?
Man, we met like over 10 years ago around there.
We met at Circle House.
Circle House Studio. Shout out Circle House and shout out Inner Circle in Miami. But we met over there because I was actually interning at the time under another producer, and he had a session with Austin. And that was one of the first major sessions I ever went to because he had a Grammy delivered to the studio. So he's opening the Grammy, Austin's there, and I'm just in the back watching everything go down. Austin and I have always been around the same circle, so you know, energy doesn't lie, dog. And when you're meant to attract to certain people, it's gonna come full circle. So we ended up linking back up a few years back, and we've been boys since.
That's amazing, bro. That's great inspiration for you as an intern, just watching that happen.
Sure.
And shout out to you for even being an intern. Like, I feel like you've been a student to the game. You've been wanting to learn and master your craft.
And that's just a message to anybody that's starting, man. Like, you ain't too big, too old, or, you know, people who feel like they can't stoop down to that because their ego's too high, you know. You got to start somewhere. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and you got to earn your stripes, dog.
Yeah, no, 100%. And speaking about starting somewhere, I want to talk to Austin about how you started. Back in the day, like, I think it was 2010. How was it that you started making music?
I really just started posting videos on YouTube out of boredom. I was like...
Out of boredom?
Yeah, I would come home from school and be like, what are we doing now? You know, like, maybe did some homework, maybe didn't, but I was like always trying to have fun and get creative and do something new. And me and my friends would start recording each other, like playing basketball or like wrestling each other, like just doing whatever. And then I posted a singing video of me just singing like Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney, and it got like way more views than the other ones. And I was like, yeah, we got something here.
No way.
And my friend was like, you have a great voice, you should just keep going with that. And I was like, you think? Like, all right, like.
Hey, shout out to YouTube.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the creatives.
Shout out to your boy who told you to keep going.
I love you, AC. Thank you for believing in me.
Yeah, and shout out to all the creatives out there that are just out here creating. Yes,
sir. Sometimes, a lot of times, all it takes is just one of the homies believing in you and being like reassuring you, being like, no, like you
all
got
it takes is that one person to believe in you.
And would you say when you started, it was like a natural talent that you had?
I mean, I always would just sing with my mom in the car or like around the house, but I was never really like musical growing up. My family wasn't musical, so I don't know. I love to sing, and I gave it a shot. Just putting myself out there publicly singing, and here I am now.
That really is putting yourself out there, and I feel like that's a big part in anything that you do, but especially making music. So how did you start making music? Like, what got you into it?
It's funny, dog. I really started thinking about this not that long ago, but I think some of my favorite memories ever growing up, I can attach to a record. And growing up, we used to play beats when I was in like the beginning of high school or middle school, my boys in the backyard, and put YouTube beats, and we just be freestyling, and like those are my favorite times, I think, in my life. Like if we were to pull a highlight reel, that's up there. So I think that music has just always had a special place in my heart, and I've always just felt, dog, like I said earlier, you really just got to work hard for whatever you want to do. Things aren't going to come, I'm not saying that they won't, but 9 out of 10 times, blessings aren't going to come knocking on your door. You got to go find them. You got to go get it. You need that hustle,
Yeah, straight up. That's really all it is.
A lot of people are entitled. They feel like it's going to come, but it's like, you got to go get it.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you learn at the end of the day.
1,000.
And is that how it was with you when you started doing those YouTube videos? Did you just start like teaching yourself and like learning how to sing on your own?
Pretty much, yeah. Once I saw that there was some traction from my singing, I was like, let me pick up the guitar, let me try to learn the piano, and I kind of just taught myself from like YouTube lessons or, the local buddy up the street just giving some quick guitar lessons to get me started. So I don't know, I kind of just fell in love with music and just followed my passion, and it led me all this way.
That's amazing. Yeah, and that's what we're all about, following the passion and just going after what you love.
But you got to have the hustle, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Or else it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would assume, like, were there a lot of ups and downs for you guys when you first started following your passion?
Always, to this day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Since the beginning, still now.
Someone said something the other day where they said, the bad will pass, but so will the good. So you got to know that it's just all one cycle, and you can't get too low, you can't get too high. You kind of appreciate the moments, appreciate the journey, and just enjoy everything that's happening, bro, because there's going to be moments where the feature you thought was coming through may not come through. You got to trade expectation for appreciation. I feel like that's one of the biggest things with music and life in general, to be honest.
Damn, that was deep. I've never heard that before, but yeah, that's really how it is.
For sure.
And when you started realizing that music is your passion, did you just like drop everything else and just follow that? Or how did you
Pretty much,
go about it?
I mean, once my YouTube blew up, I started to become homeschooled as a sophomore, and then just kind of just didn't do school no more after that. Didn't even do the work. So I really just did my freshman year and then dropped out. So
Damn, so you were all in.
Pretty much, yeah.
I feel like that's what it takes sometimes.
In 2 years, I went from doing nothing, like just a random kid that just wanted to sing some songs and see what happens, to touring with Taylor Swift, like literally like 2.5 years later.
That's
2
great.
years?
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, and
It was
anything
really
can
3
happen.
years, but still crazy though,
3, 5, still like
no,
10.
three after I start just from nothing is like,
For sure.
what?
So to go off of that, let's talk about the hustle within the music, because it's one thing to be talented, but a lot of people are talented and they just either don't hustle enough or they don't, meet the right people and find themselves in the right room. So let's talk about the music and how people are able to, find the right people to guide them through that process. Because I feel like in the music game, it's a lot of people not really knowing where to go or who to talk to.
I think the biggest thing is just starting. And it's as simple as it sounds, like throughout time, you're going to find your group, you're going to find the people you vibe with. I think that you got to connect with people on a personal level before you can connect with them on a musical level, because if you don't mess with somebody in real life, it's going to show in the music. When too many egos step into a room, it shows in the music. So as you go on to the music journey, and like at least in my career, I found that you're going to go through people who are no good for you, but you got to learn how to cut the fat and then keep the good ones. And it's going to be a dime a dozen of the good ones, but those are the people you keep around for the long run, So I don't know if you guys have something to say about that.
Well, I was gonna say, to go off of that, you mentioned the ego, and I like your first verse. You say, ego brings jealousy, and success brings, comes with enemies. Oh, damn.
Whoa.
Hey, my bad, bro.
Oh, you good? Just wondering what that is.
Shit, I don't know.
It's all good. It's raining in Miami. We Gucci.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I want to talk about this specific song. Like, I would love for you to tell the people like about the first verse and like what
So
you
the first verse goes a little bit like, I'ma live my life, could give two fucks what you say. I'ma go where I want, I'ma see who I want. Outside like I just got paid, slowing it down cause ain't no race, ain't playing your games, I'ma do it my way. Straight patience, no chase, never letting no stress get up in my way. Cause ego leads to jealousy, success comes with enemies. I'm brushing off bad energy, nothing but blessings gonna get to me, woo. Life so sweet, these days I be harder to reach. Surrounded by beautiful women with beautiful bodies, we out on the beach.
Hey.
So for me, it's like that whole verse, bro, really just embodies not allowing no bullshit to get to you, bro. Like, there's a lot of world of fake, of hate, of people who are praying for your downfall. And, you know, the bigger you get, the more people who are going to want to leech off you, the more people who are going to want to, you know, that's why I'm very private about my personal life, because when people know what you love, they know how to hurt you. So I feel like with everything, that's why I end the verse with, these days I'll be harder to reach, surrounded by beautiful women with beautiful bodies, we out on the beach. Like, you can, nothing you say or do is gonna bother me, bro. We over here vibing. Like,
nah, yeah, that's really how it is.
Yeah.
Nah, you're preaching, bro. I feel like a lot of people could relate to that verse, and I love how it goes with the flow, it goes with the song, and it's all about positivity, and you're spitting facts.
Appreciate that.
You know, like I'm a very lyrical guy, so I love like lyrics that mean something.
For sure.
And I feel like that whole song, like from beginning to end, for the second verse, you guys are gonna have to stream it. Go check that out. It's summer. And
I think to recap that, you know, my grandmother taught me a saying where she goes, don't stoop down to the egos, fly high with the egos. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's going back to what we were saying earlier, bro. It's like somebody in my life that I look up to as a mentor, they always told me, they said, don't talk. Because, you know, when you're in high school, bro, you're just doing stuff that you feel is cool. So you're listening to the Kendricks, you're listening to the Kodaks, you're listening to certain people, and you want to replicate that and embody what you're listening to into your music. So I was really just working off my imagination. But when somebody told me like, yo, you ain't doing these things, so why are you talking about it? That's when I had to go back, and that's why you hear me talking about things that I'm living, things that I truly believe, things that I'll talk to you about in real life, you know?
Yeah, things that matter, and I feel like it's very relatable.
For sure. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, bro. And the hook goes hard too.
Yeah.
The hook is super catchy.
Universal.
It's a vibe. It really is a vibe. And I want to talk about how you mentioned like within 2 to 3 years, you basically go from following your passion to living out your dreams. So how was that like for you, and how's it been for you?
It was a great lesson for me to have learned for the long run, because it shows me that with consistency, that's when you get the results that you really want. You know, when you're doing things here and there, like I'll get to it later, I'll finish this idea tomorrow, like nothing's gonna get done. You gotta be consistent. I was doing like 2 covers every week, and that's not that crazy, but, and live streaming. I was live streaming like once a week. So, it just takes, you know, one after the other.
Say, la gente con talento, tan lento. You know? You gotta work, bro. It's like there's a saying in Spanish that goes, people with talent are slow. You know, and it sounds better in Spanish, because it rhymes, but
hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really how it is.
Yeah.
You were streaming early, bro. I feel like nowadays everybody's streaming, but you were really doing whatever you got to do, and like you said, you were keeping it consistent.
It was consistently every Friday. I would go live stream in my room for like at least an hour and connect with my fans, and that's important, you know. You gotta do that stuff.
1,000%.
That is very important. What you just said, connecting with your fans. Yeah. I feel like a lot of times people want the fame and they want all the fans, but if you're not connecting with them on a personal level, it's hard to really capture their feelings and emotions.
Sure. I feel like with you streaming too, my bad to cut you off, but I feel like with you streaming too, they were able to see a different side of you than just, you know, especially nowadays, everything's so filtered, it's so cut, it's so edited, that when you're streaming, it's like whatever happens, whatever you say, whatever you do is in live action.
Everything.
And it makes you look like a human being, bro. If you mess up a word, if something like that happens, it's life, dog. Like, you know, nothing's perfect. So I feel like people relate with that more.
Yeah, definitely. And you've had your moments of like success as well within the music industry. And again, it goes to show that with consistency and hard work, it's going to be talent. But you guys are super talented. So I love to see you guys doing your thing. And I want to talk to you about the collabs that you've been able to do within the past years.
A lot of, you know, I'm definitely super blessed, because a lot of the things that have brought me, I guess, placements in music have been more as a producer and a songwriter. So I just officially got certified as a platinum producer with a record I did for Farruko. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you, brother.
That's
yeah,
a
it was
huge
about
blessing.
2 months ago. Is a record we did called Rangos. I was a writer on it. We just had a record come out with Victor Cardenas, Pitbull, and I Am Chino called Soy Así. We flipped Young, Wild, and Free in Spanish, you know.
Nice. Shout out I Am Chino, shout out Pitbull.
Hey, shout out the whole gang.
Yup.
But yeah, man, I did Mariah Angelique's last single. Like, I've definitely been blessed to be in the right circles, but I think it definitely goes back to creating real relationships with people, you know. I'm not over here trying to use people for something. I'm not over here trying to, I'm not coming with an agenda, you know. Austin and I are real friends in real life, so from there it kind of is how this song sparked.
That's
it's like, yo,
amazing.
let's make a dope song, bro. Okay, cool. We like the song, you like the song, let's put it out. Like, nothing's forced, bro.
Feels like I came together in like 15 minutes.
Literally.
I was gonna ask you guys about that. It sounds very natural.
For sure.
So you guys just got in there and just wanted to make a song and just did it?
Man, there was actually
I mean, I remember we were in, what was it, Nashville?
in Nashville.
Yeah, we were in Nashville, Tennessee. You know, Chris pulls up per usual. He's like, got the Airbnb come through. The studio's active. He's got like every room filled with like a studio setup,
Yeah.
which I love because everywhere he goes, he always has like a writing camp, like a random writing camp pop up.
I love putting people together.
Yeah, I was
That's good. He's a connector for sure.
nice.
And I just remember I just made a drink. I'm in my element. I'm a little bit cross-faded, you know. I'm there just having a good time, hanging with the boys, you know.
Yeah.
And then Chris is like, "Yo, come listen to this. I want you to do this super fast." Just sets it up like casual, you know.
Man, shout out to Steven, shout out to Curtis and the writers who also helped out with the hook. They're based out of LA, but yeah, we had the hook, and when I heard the hook from the second, I was like, yo, Austin needs to cut this, like,
Yeah.
you know. And I feel like we all have good ears. You need a good ear to be in the music industry, but I feel like I'm good at connecting people together. So when I heard the song, I was like, yo, I'm pulling up to Nashville, bro. Pull up, like.
Yeah, it's one of those that you could tell it to hit as soon as you play it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, and when it comes to like going on tour, you know, I want to talk about that because you were so young when you started touring. You said you went on tour with Taylor Swift. That's a huge artist. So like, how are you feeling? Were you nervous?
Heck yeah, I was nervous. I had just come from playing my own shows of like 400 people, you know, which is still a lot of people as a young kid.
Of course.
14, 15 years old, you know, selling out some places in Houston and around Texas and all that. But going from 400 people to doing 60,000 a show was like, welcome to the big leagues. Go out there, you know, go crazy, have fun, but, you know, do your best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
actually
had
just got
no
back.
experience. Like I had my band come out with
That's
us.
wild.
I had like 6 to 8 dancers out there. We was
That's
all going
fire.
crazy, and I had a little acoustic set too, like in the middle of the show.
That's
But it was all just like very like just dove in head first. You know, I was like, I'm here. I'm on tour with Taylor Swift. It doesn't get bigger than this. Got the band. I got the dancers. Let's just have fun and go crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, that really is what it's about. You just got to have fun. You got to love what you do.
Absolutely.
It goes back to what you guys are talking about making this song. Like when you guys made this song, it sounds natural, and you guys, like you said, it was a natural vibe.
Oh,
And
super natural.
if you go in there, I feel like I'm not a music artist, but I could imagine if you go in there and try to treat it like business too much, it won't flow as good.
It starts to feel
always
like a
kills
job
the
too.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta feel fun, like we're just hanging out.
That's why when you got people, man, and I'm sure you can attest to this too. When you got people, when you're in the studio, we got my boy Ray Ali back there too. He's a producer, artist.
Shout out.
But shout out to him as well. But we can all attest to this, man. Like when you got people in the room, you could tell the people who are already thinking about the percentages before the songs even started. You know, and those are the people that you go, you're never coming back, kicked out. You know, and that just kills the whole vibe, bro. Like you gotta just have fun with it.
Yeah, vibes don't lie.
Yeah.
And I feel
for
like
sure.
money goes where energy flows. So if you go in there thinking about the money, you're gonna be chasing it and it's gonna be running from you. But if you don't think about the money and you just have fun, the money will find you.
That part,
one
bro.
way or another.
My puro, you know, which is like my father figure. He always says that. He said, you know, when back in the day, you didn't really know how powerful words are. You'd be like, nah, you know, I'm chasing this record, or nah, I'm chasing this session.
Better run.
He's like, yeah. He's like, if you keep chasing something, that means it is running from you. You attracting, you pursuing. You know, there's different words that you can flip it to that are more powerful than chasing. So we're on the same page.
And to go off of that, let's talk about mindset a little bit, because I feel like, especially in this industry, but in anything, when you taste a little bit of success, I feel like one of the things that you have to maintain is a strong mindset. So throughout this whole process and this journey, how do you guys keep your mind strong, and like how do you guys stay focused?
I think for me, I usually like to just wake up, start my day by doing something active, go to the gym, go play basketball with the boys, do something, go for a walk, a run, just to get the juices flowing, because I'm not trying to do that later in the day. I want to just get the hardest part of the day done first thing when I wake up, and then I can accomplish anything in the world after that. It doesn't matter. So I think returning to the music, you know, sometimes I ask myself why I'm doing this and why I'm still doing what I'm doing. Is because I love making music. I love building something from the ground up, from scratch, with, you know, with my boys, with some new producers or writers that people want me to connect with, or even by myself. You know, I just love to see something start from nothing and hear the finished product. I love that. And you don't have to pay me a dime to do what I do.
That's what's up.
Facts.
And what about you? What keeps your mind strong through?
I feel like for me, man, there was a period in my life where I was chasing, you know, and I remember there was one time, I think, no lie, 2-3 months straight, bro, 6-7 days a week. Even to this day, we have these days, but 10-11 a.m. till 5-6 in the morning every single day, and it's like I gotta hit every session. My mom, when I was younger, she used to tell me, like, you're not in a position to say no. And I had to kind of look in the mirror and be like, okay, you're in a position where you can start saying no. But even when I didn't know that yet, I was still reaching a certain level, and I was still acting as if I first started, which is great. But you got to know when to say no, man. Like, it's not healthy for your mindset, for physically, for you to just be working. I'm sorry, I don't really care what anybody says, bro. The people who are like, oh, well, if you're not in the gym, there's other people. I agree with you, because we be in the gym shooting shots. We there every day. But at the same time, you have to, mental health is important, bro. So I started getting really burnt out, and it got to a point where my body shut down on me. It's like, oh, you're not going to get proper rest. You're not going to eat. You're not going to take care of yourself. I'm going to force you to. And I was down for like 3 weeks. So after that, I was like, yo, let me go back to my roots. What's something that before music I loved? You know, what did I love before music? And the answer was basketball. And I play basketball at least 3-4 times a week. Bro, I'm out in the sun for 2 hours. I'm off my phone. I'm with my boys. I'm being competitive. So it allows me to kind of get a refresh. And when I go back into the studio, it's a sense of excitement again, you know, instead of feeling like work.
That's all you need.
Yeah. And exactly to what he was saying at the end, it's like, bro, there's no better feeling when you walk into a session and there's nothing made and you just made something out of thin air. Like, all from your ideas. And if you think about it, music isn't tangible. You can't grab it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it, you know? So the fact that you can't feel it, I'm just saying physically. Like the fact that you can make something out of nowhere and you make people feel the way that you're feeling, whether that's happy, sad, you know, you're celebrating something, whatever it is, like, it's crazy, bro. I definitely love what we do.
Yeah, no, I agree. You got to stay active. You got to be out there, and you got to, like, hey, if you guys ever want to play ball, let me know. I'm always down to play ball too.
Let's go. We ball out with a bunch of producers, writers, A&Rs. So.
Oh, I would love to, bro. I'm always down to ball. Always down to ball. Always down to work out. Always down to get active.
Let's do it.
And then I want to talk about how you mentioned, like, you basically make music, make songs out of thin air. What's the writing process like for you guys? Like, how do you guys get into that creative space?
I like to either just start on the guitar or the piano, or just find a random beat on YouTube, or if one of the homies is like listening to this beat, inspiration can come from anywhere.
Facts.
You know? But it always feels better when you like start it from nothing, like with the guitar, find some chords that you like. For me, I like to find the chords first, and then I'll come up with some melodies, and then I'll put the words to my melodies.
For sure.
That's the way I do it.
I think that you can't be closed off to one specific process. Like he's saying, it comes in different forms. But, bro, we're never not working. Like, I went to Barbados and I was Shazamming. We just came back from Spain. We did some shows in Spain. We did a little tour. Ray was out there being our,
nice.
He was our DJ and stuff. But we're out there at the clubs listening to records that are flowing through Europe before they get to the States, and we're Shazamming, because you never know what melody ideas you could take and flip to English. But I think that you always have to have your ears to the streets, and if you love music, you're always going to be attentive regardless. You may be hanging out with a group of people and some girl says, I'm not saying this is the way it happened, but she may be like, hey guys, it's summer. And that's what sparked the record this summer. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
So our voice memos stay active, our notes stay active. Like, we're constantly just like, yo, what could be another record? What could, and not chasing it, but having fun with it, really.
Yeah, but with the voice memos, you like, it's so important. If you have a good idea, you got to capture it right away. Because if you try to think of it later, it's not going to be the same.
It's like a dream. You ever had like a crazy dream and then you try to remember it
bro.
Yo, I
Every
started
night.
getting to a point where I started waking up and writing them down.
Yeah,
Because if
yeah,
not,
yeah.
bro, you forget. So it's the
You
same
have to
thing with the
document it
idea.
in the moment.
You got to.
100%.
You have to.
Yeah, no, 100%. Thoughts come and go.
For sure.
And yeah, bro, I could definitely feel you on that. So I want to talk about how you mentioned that you're from Texas, but also Miami. So what brought you down to Miami, and how do you like Miami?
The music brought me.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I grew up listening to country music my entire life up until like 15 years old. So I'm like raised on 90s, early 2000s country, everything. And then when I was 15, I heard T-Pain for the first time, and I was like, whew, what is this like sorcery of like music, like the harmonies, the auto-tune, like everything. I was like, what is this? So I fell in love with R&B through T-Pain, and like he also inspired me to become a producer and like, you know, add harmonies and fill up the vocal and all that. And then I ended up signing to his exact management, and they brought me out to Miami, and I signed to Cash Money immediately. Signed to Cash Money, then went on tour with Taylor, and the rest is history after that.
That's amazing. Yo, shout out T-Pain.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite artists growing up too.
I was in
And-
the studio with him, and I was playing him some of my records one time a few years ago, and he was like, man, he was like, your harmonies are crazy. He was like, keep doing those, like don't stop harmonizing, like your harmonies are insane. And I was like, damn, like
Bet that up.
that just solidified, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
me in the
it's-
studio.
It's
So
a huge compliment.
crazy compliment.
Yeah. And when it comes to, you mentioned that you signed, like, I want to talk about being independent and signing, just to give some advice to the artists that are listening out here, because I feel like a lot of times people don't know if it's better to stay independent or if it's better to sign. So what do you guys think from your experience?
I think it's better to stay independent until you feel like it's really, you're at that level to like sign something that's really gonna, you know, be beneficial.
I think they taught me a saying. You know, I grew up around a lot of wolves and different people, so I saw all these sayings. I didn't come up with them. I learned, I'm taking them, and I'm trying to pass it on. But they said the best negotiation is the one you can walk away from. So I think once you put yourself in a position where you could walk away and say no, you're not desperate. You're not like, damn, you know, this is my last dollar. I think you got to just stay focused, build your team, build your sound, build your following, your
Yeah, I
fan
think
base, and
people
build your
gotta
leverage.
build their own
Bro.
empires
Yeah.
from the ground. Build your team.
Yeah.
Have your team. Own
People
your
who believe in
companies,
you is the most important.
Own all your masters. Like being signed to a label sounds cool, and it is cool when you're at a certain level, but I feel like most of the time it just wastes years of your life, you know? You can
Yeah.
make so many songs, like hundreds of songs, and they could be like, yeah, we're gonna put like one of these out.
So to play devil's advocate in this situation, just because I'm around a lot of artists as well. My cousin, shout out Devon, he's an artist as well, and he's young. He's 21, you know. So he makes a lot of music, and a lot of times like people will think that, not him, but like people will think that signing to a label will help you get that exposure that you need. So is that like, if you don't sign to a label, how do you get the exposure? You feel me? Like, how does an artist?
Like Austin did it.
You got the
YouTube.
world in your hand. Like even before we had it in our hands, I did it just off of YouTube. I think YouTube is always a major key to success.
I'm
No
not
matter
the
what you
greatest
do.
at it as well because, you know, I feel like the music speaks for itself. But look at a platform like TikTok, you know. You could post one video and all of a sudden by tomorrow everybody knows your name when nobody knew who you were yesterday. So
No
I think
one is
it's a
gonna
great
work
platform.
harder for you than yourself.
That's 100%.
So even if you're signed to a label, like you still gotta like be in charge, but you gotta like also answer to someone else,
For sure.
which is not that cool.
I mean, that's why you build your own leverage, because then at that point you can negotiate creative control. You can negotiate what your deal looks like. You can negotiate owning your masters. You know, so it's really up to the situation and the person, you know. But I would definitely say in the beginning, stay independent. And if you reach a certain level, you may not even need the label. You know, if a lot of labels are calling you, that means you're doing something right. So
I mean,
Yeah.
even when you're independent and you're one of the biggest, like if you can stay independent, that's way better than being on any label, I think.
yeah.
And what have you guys learned throughout the years of doing music and like following your passion? Like, what are the biggest lessons you can give to an artist that is aspiring to be as big as you guys one day?
Leave space for God in the room.
I love that. I love that
Hey,
answer.
shout out God.
Hey, I love that answer.
Hey, shout out God. We love God.
I love that answer.
Thank you for all the opportunities. Really,
sure.
we're here because of God. So
For sure,
shout out to
100%.
God always.
I just got baptized, so you already know.
For real?
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
shout
We
out
need
to
a
you.
little
Congrats.
refresh. Thank
That's
you, man.
amazing.
It's a new chapter, and Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is sometimes when you feel like you're not getting to the next level, sometimes you gotta just keep going, bro. And again, as simple as these answers may be, it's the truth. Because sometimes we try to complicate things that don't need to be complicated. It's when you know, it's easy to get frustrated. I had a friend actually who said that if he hadn't made it by this date, you know, by this year, that he was just gonna quit and work a 9 to 5. He already had 2 kids. He was like struggling to pay because the music industry isn't easy. You know, you get paid a small percentage of X amount of streams. Like the ratio doesn't really make sense. But the day that he said was his last session, that's God was with him. Ended up being the record that changed his life. You know, so you never know. Like you gotta just continue going, and if you really love it, you would do it for free anyways. So
that's true.
Just do it.
That's true. And quick shout out to Arlana. He's the one that painted this beautiful piece right here, Black Panther. I'm gonna put this to the side for now.
Wait, you said your nana made that?
Arlana.
Who?
Arlana.
He's a really dope artist.
Yeah, he's a dope artist.
Artlanta?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, you gotta look into him, bro. The helmet itself was made by my boy EJ. He has a 3D printer.
That's tough.
But then Arlana did his thing on it.
Arlana went crazy. He did all the other ones too? Or just this one?
My boy EJ did the it's a 3D printer, so he's the one that made the helmets.
Arlana only did that one though.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's tight.
But yeah, very rare piece. Shout out
101.
Arlana. But yeah, so I want you to elaborate on what you said about how you got to leave God in the room. Like, what do you mean by that exactly?
I just think the rooms can get a little too stuffy sometimes. You can walk into a studio and your ego could be so inflated that there's no space for God in the room, and you think, I'm gonna write the best song ever and I'm gonna do it myself. You know? I always gotta leave a little space.
Yeah.
You know,
Again, shout out to God.
Yeah.
Before we went to all the interviews today, Ray and I were in the car. We hit a prayer. Ray and I have been working on the Danny Lay album right now. Shout out Danny Lay. This album's gonna be crazy. But you know, we started praying before sessions, and you just feel a different energy, man. Like there's a lot of hate, and especially in Vice City. You know, there's a whole lot of vices and temptations in this city. So as long as, you know, the devil's always gonna work hard to try to bring you down, because he knows what your temptations are. But so does God. I actually went to church the other day, and they said the devil would trigger your temptations the devil would trigger your traumas while Jesus would trigger your transformation. So it's like you have 2 roads. Which one you gonna pick? You know? And I feel like as long as you stay straight and forward, bro, you're gonna be good.
Yo, I felt that, bro. That was a good one. I mean, shout out to anybody that goes to church too. Like,
For sure.
That's where you get, you know, just wisdom like that. And I feel like a lot of times, especially in a city like this, you said it, Vice City, a lot of distractions out here, and just being true to God and praying and having faith, I feel like it keeps you focused and it keeps your energy up.
For sure.
I feel like that's very important. And
Amen.
yeah, amen. For sure. And so what do you guys got next? What are you guys working on now?
We might have some more music
The next
together
record?
coming soon. We just might. Y'all gotta stay tuned, but
No, we definitely have we were listening to some songs on the way here. We're just going through ideas. Probably got like 6 of them that are pretty fire.
yeah,
But I
that's
have
what's
another
up.
one that I'm gonna put on my album that we did together.
Yeah.
That's what's
So-
up.
I'm excited.
I think also one last message to the artists, which also ties into this. We can make 30 records together. Ray and I can make 100 records together. It may be the 101 record. That's the one, you know? So you just gotta make music, bro. And even the one that you may feel is the one, you put it out, and it may not be the one for the people. The one that you least thought was the one that pops off,
Yeah.
you know?
Making music is like taking pictures. You gotta take 100 of them, and you're probably only gonna like 1 or 2 or 3 of them. You gotta take 100 to get those 3.
Yeah. You just
Yeah,
gotta go to the
that's-
gym.
That's really how it is, yeah. Just put in the reps.
For sure.
And I feel like this is with business as well, but in music, I feel like a lot of times it becomes very hard because making music, all this, it costs money, you know? So it's not like you just do it for fun. You got to invest in your craft.
For sure.
That's why I learned how to cut my own vocals and produce and write and play music by myself.
For sure. Self-sufficiency is one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait on no one.
For sure.
You know, I can't be like, oh, I gotta find an engineer to cut this idea. No, I can do it myself.
Facts. And you know, for the people who are starting and don't have those resources or may not even have a computer or whatever.
Everyone's got the resources.
Not for sure, but you know, some more than others. And the only thing I would say to something like that is like your hunger is gonna determine where your success goes. You know, so you can intern at so many different studios in Miami. Like our studio, Mr. 305 Studios, is always taking in people. As long as you got the right work ethic and energy, you're welcome, you know. And a lot of times our studio is a blessing because you could come through, you may be asked to take out the garbage, you may be asked, I was there too, but they're gonna give you free studio time. They're gonna allow you to use the space when nobody's using it because we want everybody to elevate and grow, and they may be the next person signed, you know. So, or even just working with us without being signed. But I think that there's so many possibilities to be able to make it happen. You just got to do it.
That's so. You said Mr. 305?
Mr. 305, yeah.
Shout out to Mr. 305.
Shout out Mr. 305 Records.
Yes, sir. They're doing big things out here.
Yeah, man.
That's the real Miami hustle.
Hey, shout out to them. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because I wanted to talk about that because I feel like a lot of times music artists, they feel like, going back to the sign thing, they feel like they have to get signed to then get money, to then put it behind marketing, to put it behind music videos, to put it behind this,
That's
studio
ancient
time
in
and
their
that.
thinking. That way of thinking is old. You don't need a label no more.
Yeah.
The world needs to know that. You just don't. You'll get further doing it by yourself.
Still shout out to
with
Mr.
the
305
people-
Records, but true.
No, but I'm saying, but like I'm saying, like with the people that you love, like you gotta be in a place where, like, you know, you got a good camaraderie and like the people that you're working with, you
1,000,
love,
1,000,
like
1,000.
that's where you're gonna get the furthest. Like you're gonna get further than doing it by yourself, doing it that way, with good, genuine people that you actually mess
If
with.
you really think about it, you said you're a lyricist, right? Like you like listening to music and you're a fan of music, right? I think
Yeah.
we're all fans of music. How do you connect with music? You're not gonna connect with something that's being forced down your throat. Oh, I hear the target. I hear the. Actually, you might be annoyed at the record. It may work for what it is, but I think for people to really engage and become fans, you got to get them organically. So it goes back to what Austin's saying. You just got to make the content. You got to have fun doing it, and it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. Everything on God's sign, bro.
And when it comes to like making music videos, how do you guys do that?
You see
Is
the
that-
iPhones?
Okay.
I know people who shoot crazy I know crazy photographers who charge X amount and they use iPhones. So
I mean, hey, shout out to iPhones. That's how this podcast started.
There you go.
iPhones.
that's all I'm saying. But exactly, see? And then you built your way up to this.
So there's really no excuse. If you want to be a music artist, you have everything that you need.
At
You just
this
got to
point,
do
there's
it.
no excuse.
If you're making an excuse, you're your biggest enemy.
Yeah. Just got to be consistent
For sure.
and just do what you love.
For sure.
So I want to talk about the your rise to success at such a young age. Like, how did that impact you? Like, did you ever think to yourself like, damn, this is too much? Like,
When I went to Mexico, yeah, they damn near killed me. Like it was a straight mob scene. Like I thought I was gonna die actually.
Oh.
Like early on, like it was like I had girls in the trees, like girls climbing roofs across the street, like shaking my van. My van was like.
Yo,
So, like,
some
there was
people would
times
die
like
for
that.
that.
I was about to say that.
There was moments
At first it
early on
sounded
where I
bad.
was-
That didn't sound too bad.
Yeah, hold up.
No, for sure. I mean, you know, but like, it was definitely scary at some points. You know, early
For sure,
on, like
for
feeling
sure.
that type of pandemonium.
Especially at
because-
such a young age.
Yeah, especially someone that moved around a lot. You know, didn't have too many friends, didn't even really go to high school, and then just like in front of the whole world, and everyone's like, ah.
Yeah, like all eyes are on you at that point.
Yeah. So I mean, and also like in my most awkward years too, like I'm, you know,
Still finding yourself.
15, 16, like acne on my face, like puberty going crazy, like my voice changing, like, and then just like being under the microscope.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. But I've always had fun with it. I really welcome traveling the world. You know, I think that's really also another thing that keeps me going is like being able to go to a random country and seeing like physically like people sing a song that I wrote in my bathroom on the floor. You know. And especially when they like English isn't their first language and they're singing my song in English, like that's the stuff that I really live for, you know? Being in the studio is amazing and being creative is great, but like we could do that anywhere. We can
Sure.
be in Singapore and got the studio set up in the hotel.
For sure.
It's all about traveling and connecting with the fans and feeling that energy in person. I think that's the best thing in the world.
And throughout that process, did you have like a mentor or someone guiding you through it?
Lots of people. People like Taylor Swift, Pitbull, my mom, of course, being number one above them, but so many other artists, family members, like, I've got some great advice for sure, you know? Big radio people, so. just like Chris, I've picked up a lot of great gems and one-liners and things that I can share with everyone.
For sure.
Any advice that from those type of people that you'd like to share to the people listening?
Let's see. Taylor told me to just always keep my team close, keep my family close. You know, I think that's a good thing to know. Is just build your own team, keep them close, treat them good, and you guys will go to the moon and back, however many times you want. You know.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I mean, I've dropped a lot of them, to be honest, throughout the interview.
for sure. But like any specific mentors that you've had like guiding you throughout the process that you want to shout out?
I think, you know, in Cuban slang, like puro means like father figure.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had my father figure in my life since I was about a year and a half, you know.
Okay.
So he's been with my mom, and they really rode for each other, and they've had an unorthodox relationship, but it's really showed me that everybody has their own version of normal happiness. You know, you don't need papers to love somebody, you know, just different kind of things. But throughout the years, you know, they both came from certain backgrounds and certain childhood traumas or tribulations, and their family came from Cuba. My mom came from Puerto Rico and had to go through all kind of stuff to make it to, you know, to Miami. But yeah, I would say definitely, as Austin said, you know, my mom is my mom, but I think that my puro is definitely somebody who's given me a lot of advice along the way. And I think that one that stuck with me as a kid was always like, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, which we hear often. But I think another one is always like short steps, long vision. You know, and as simple as those sound, it's the truth. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If there may be an opportunity, bro, you know how I feel? Like a lot of times we may walk into a situation, if I see an artist I've been really wanting to work with or a producer, I'm not scared of being told no. I may never see that person again. God might have put me, the universe might have put that person in my, you know,
Like
in the room with me for a
and you
reason.
went up to Tate McRae.
Yeah, bro, I've been wanting to work with Tate McRae for years. We were at Soho House in Nashville. I saw her. I was like, why wouldn't I go up to her?
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst she's gonna tell me? No? And we ended up exchanging numbers and whatever. And if we work on something, we work on something. But at least I put it out there. And then the other one, paso corto, vista larga, short steps, long vision. It's just that, bro. Like sometimes, as I mentioned earlier, it may not feel like it's going your way, but as long as you're taking baby steps and you're going forward, you're going forward. Someone taught me another one that kind of relates to that they go, slow motion is better than no motion.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is the truth. As long as you moving, bro, you good. Like
Yeah, like 1% better every day.
for sure.
And
Complacency is the cousin of death, man. You can't be comfortable, you can't be complacent, you just gotta keep working.
Yeah, there's a book that's called Go for No, and I would recommend anybody read it. But it's basically what you said, like to get one yes, you got to go through 100 no's.
Yeah.
So you can't really be scared of rejection.
That's your ego and pride. Wanna be like, oh, why would I go up to them? Nah, they gotta come up to me. I'm gonna make it to, you know how many times I hear that? Yo, I'm gonna make it to a point where they gotta come up to me. I ain't doing that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't got an ego nor pride, bro, because you never know. You walk up to a certain person. I walked up to Steve Aoki at the airport. Whatever, man. Like, I don't want to bother him, but you make sure to come in approachable. You know, you don't want to be a fanboy or nothing. You just tell him, yo, I respect your work. Congratulations on everything you got going on. I'd love to work with you. If he says no, keep it pushing. If he says yes, you never know. Just off that one interaction, if y'all end up making a record that changes both of your lives. And it just took one approach. So,
Yeah,
that's really...
I want to ask you about those records that change your life. Like, I feel like you really never know when it's coming.
For sure.
But how is it that you approach releasing music? Like, do you do it with some sort of strategy, or what would you recommend an artist do when it comes to releasing their music?
Just drop it.
Okay.
Just drop it.
That's good advice right there.
with It's Summer, you know, we came up, shout out Maria Alejandra. She's the project
Shout out
manager and
Maria.
publicist at Miss 305. But, you know, she's been helping us set up. The reason why I love her and the addition to the team is because you need people like that are hungry, that are going to bring a bunch of interviews. So this whole week, she brought a bunch of stuff to the table. So this release is a little bit different than others, where we've had a lot of PR, a lot of press, a lot of different stuff. But for the most part, with a lot of records, bless you.
Thank you.
Let's just put it out to the world and see what happens. You got to continue feeding the beast. You never know which one's going to be the one.
How consistent would you recommend a new artist release their music? Like once a month?
As much as you can. Once a
put it
month is
out?
cool.
Yeah.
Because I feel like also, I'm not an artist, but I'm kind of like thinking like an artist and speaking for them just so they can get some good
course.
advice. I'm thinking like some artists, they don't want to release too much of their music because they think it's so good. So they want to wait for that
Bro,
right
nah,
time.
release it.
You can't save it,
There's
dog.
no perfect time.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna get a little deep, but one of my good friends, shout out Trap Star, he ended up passing away in a car accident. He was signed to Atlantic Records. He was like, had records with Lil Pump, the whole thing. And he was doing massive stuff, and he was the next one from that sound up. And we had this one record, and I remember that I would always tell him like, yo, let's hold off because we want to make sure that when we get this label deal, we have a budget behind the record. This is the best record you have. And he didn't make it to be able to put it out, you know. So now it's just sitting in our computer. And what if that record would have been out, and that night, instead of him being out with people who were drunk driving, he would have been in an event singing the record? You don't know, and we could live in the world of what ifs, but at the end of the day, it's all about putting the song out. When I was a kid, I used to be scared of like running out of ideas. You know, I don't know if you ever felt that way, but I'm like, yo, one day will I ever run out of creativity? Will I ever come up? But it doesn't happen, bro. That's all just your own mind playing tricks on you.
What people call writer's block.
Yeah, but no, I was really just scared that like one day I would never be able to make a song again because I'd run out of ideas. And it's been a testament, I'm sure, for you. You've been making music longer than me, but pretty much the same amount of time. It's like you're never gonna run out of ideas as long as you find inspiration and stay creative.
It's one of the realest things you said.
Yeah. And do you have any like big lessons that you've learned throughout this process?
There's a lot.
So many lessons.
When you fall, just get back up, bro.
Yeah,
I think really everybody's gonna go through their own little stuff, but you gotta just go through it. You know, it's like when you used to fall as a kid and they'll tell you, hey, don't walk right there, you're gonna slip, but you're still gonna do it anyways, because sometimes you gotta fall, figure it out by yourself, and then be like, you're gonna grow wise to be, okay, cool, look, other people are trying to put me on game, let me actually listen. And you know, something that my dad taught me and my uncle, they always said, yo, one thing you can't buy in life is time, right? Everybody knows that. You can buy a Rolex, you can't buy time. But if you hang around people who are wiser than you, all they do is buy you time. If they tell you, yo, dog, don't go that way because this is gonna happen, they may buy you 5 years of your time.
Yeah.
You go over there, this might have taken you 10 years to figure out. You get advice, you listen to it, you apply it, that might have bought you 10 years of your time. You know, so.
Sure. Yeah, no, I feel like this has been a great episode. A lot of wisdom is being dropped. I really appreciate your guys' time here, and I'm sure everybody listening appreciates all the knowledge that you guys are giving out there. You guys are huge role models to what it takes to be an artist, especially starting from nothing, starting from scratch, and just doing what you have to do to make it happen. Like, that's really what the hustle's about. There's no excuses. You just got to make it happen no matter what. Like, everybody has a job. We got to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, what you do when you're clocked out is really what's important.
For sure.
So the last question that I always ask my guests is, what does Miami mean to you?
What a question. What does Miami mean to me?
While you think about it, I'll answer.
More than you could ever know.
Like that.
That's a huge shout out to Miami right there.
Yeah. Man, I wouldn't be who I am without Miami, for a fact. If I grew up in Ohio, I would not be the person I am, you know. I call Miami the jungle because it is. And I feel like I was raised around the wolves, but again, you're raised around people who are involved in certain things because you know how it is, dog. This is a city where there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of, you know, struggle. So I feel like you growing up around a little bit of all of that, you got to take from everything and apply it to your life, man. So Miami, dog, is the best city in the entire world. I think we've both traveled pretty much the world, and there's no city like Miami.
It's true.
That's huge.
No city like Miami.
That's a huge compliment to Miami. Yes, sir. Shout out to 305.
Shout out 305.
And you want to elaborate on like what Miami means to you?
Shoot, I mean, I always say as a boy I grew up in San Antonio, and as a man I've grown up in Miami. So all of my lessons in life that I know as a man now came from the city. And I'm very grateful for each and every one of them because I feel like, you know, I never really went to high school, but I feel like my street smarts is way more valuable to me now.
Facts.
That's what's up.
Miami taught me that.
Hey,
Miami teaches you how to be aware on your toes. Like,
always, yeah. P's and Q's.
For sure.
Shout out to Miami, man. And again, I really want to thank you guys for your time on the Miami Hustle. I feel like this is a really big episode for us.
Thank you for having us, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure. No, anytime. You guys are always welcome. Another thing I like to do with my guests is, this is your first time on the Miami Hustle. This is your first time on the Miami Hustle. But we like to have our guests back, let's say a couple months or a year later. We like to document the success. So you're here now. You dropped the song. It's summer. Everybody go stream that right now.
It's summer. Right. Chris Daniel, Austin Mahone, out, Mr. 305 Records. Shout out Chris Vieira from the Miami Hustle.
Yes, sir. And then until next time, we love to have you guys back and just recap and just keep doing the thing, bro. Keep hustling.
Appreciate you, bro.
Never
good.
stop.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
305
Appreciate
till we
you,
die,
bro.
baby.
Until
Let's
next
go.
time. Yes, sir.